Well, he is called the failing New York Times. Nevertheless, President-elect Trump did go pay a visit on Ill Great Lady and met with the publisher and then some of the chief editorial people. But that sit-down got a response like this in an op-ed by Frank Bruni, who wrote, "Winning the most powerful office in the world did nothing to diminish his epic ache for adoration and outsized need to tell everyone how much he deserves it." To Howard Kurtz, our media watcher, MediaBuzz host, what do you make of that reaction?
Well, I don't think it's terribly generous to say he has an epic need for adoration. All people in public life want to be liked and respected. But one person close to the president-elect told me today that, Neil, that Trump did go to the Times building rather than receiving a delegation at Trump Tower as a sign of respect. This is his hometown paper. He reads it every day. He grew up reading it. He has it delivered to the gold-plated apartment. He really wants the New York Times approval for all of his attacks on the paper.
I think you're right about that. It was different, and a lot of other news organizations noticed that he visited the New York Times. He didn't have them come to him. Having said that, do you think the president-elect expected any different kind of coverage or any less snide coverage, or that this is just in keeping with his theme, I'm watching all of you in the media?
Well, I think the message here, and also in the meeting with the TV anchors and executives, is, I won, you got it all wrong, now let's see if we can work together, but kind of trying to deliver a strong message that if the Times, who Trump says has been very rough on him, continues to be very rough on him as president-elect and then president, you know, he's not going to be shy about using Twitter or other means to hit back. So at the same time, I've noticed this myself, that Donald Trump, if you're a sympathetic journalist, that's fine, he appreciates that. But if you're a very liberal journalist at MSNBC or a very conservative journalist at Fox who was never Trump, he does make an extra effort to win you over. He feels like if he uses the charm offensive, he can turn you around. If it doesn't work, he'll smack you.
All right, well, I'll disagree with you in one respect, and I have great respect for you, because I think he's a little thin-skinned. And I know he still boycotts this show, which is his free right. He's going to be leader of the free world. Have at it. And that, I think, goes back to just having Mitt Romney on him back in those days when he was criticizing him, even though we raised all the counterpoints that a Donald Trump would. Having said that, can he get over that? Now, obviously, the rap about being thin-skinned might only go so far if, in fact, he makes Governor Romney his Secretary of State, that maybe he isn't what some of his critics have said. What do you think?
Well, I don't disagree with you, Neil, about the thin-skinned part. I think that Trump makes an effort to try to win people over, particularly those who are critical, but doesn't mean that he will reward them by granting access or interviews and that sort of thing. But look, I mean, here's the thing. If Donald Trump is proving to be a magnanimous winner who can at least seriously consider making Mitt Romney, who called him a con man and a lot of bad stuff during the campaign as Secretary of State, who is now naming you know, Governor Nikki Haley as UN ambassador, despite her criticism of him about not being criticizing the KKK strong enough and all of that, then I guess he can have diplomatic relations with the New York Times. And look, the Times has an incentive here, not to, you know, pull its punches, but to have a decent relationship with the next president of the United States. And Trump knows that. He's a very media-savvy guy.
Yeah, but he knows as well, because he's shrewd, that he'll make organizations think twice about how they're going about that coverage, at least initially after these meetings, right?
He will indeed, and that's, you know, it's kind of a carrot and stick approach.
Right.
Let him know that they haven't been fair, and he's watching, but at the same time, give a little bit of respect. Maybe you get the close umpire calls next time.
There you go. Well put. Howard Kurtz, have a great Thanksgiving, my friend. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Neil.
All right.